It's time for Mac Geek Gab, and listener Joe brings us our quick tip of the week by saying, hey, Dave, I was cleaning up my iPhone in preparation for transferring data, and I saw in my Venmo app it indicated that I had a message. I opened it up and saw a bunch of transactions on the social feature of the app. And I saw several of your transactions where you were getting paid for gigs and things like that, which surprised me. So I thought I'd write you on the off chance that you weren't aware that you had the app set to post your transactions. Yes, indeed, I did, and I was not aware of this. You can go into your Venmo settings and tell it to default to one of three privacy settings: public, to the world, only to friends, or only to you. So I went and set my Venmo settings to be only to me, and that way it doesn't matter what someone on the other end chooses. It makes the transaction private no matter what. So thank you for that, Joe. More tips like this, plus your questions answered today on Mac Geek Gab 1056 for Monday, September 23rd, Education Technology Day 2024. Greetings, folks, and yes, indeed, welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share tips like that. We answer the questions that you send in. Hopefully, we at least share the questions. We try to answer them. We share some cool stuff found. We tie it all together into an agenda that hopefully, usually, quite often, in fact, allows us each to learn at least 5 new things every time we get together. Our sponsor, thank you, Pete. Our sponsor for this episode is 1Password Extended Access Management, which solves all the traditional problems of IAMs and MDMs that they can't touch. You can learn more at 1password.com/MGG. We'll talk more about that later. And I did not pre-record the ads this week, so you get to hear live me and you find out what crazy things ChatGPT is going to make me say. Here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christianson.
And here in New Hampshire, it's Pilot Pete. Show 1056, the 10 code for 1056 is intoxicated pedestrian. I'm not drunk yet, folks, so, stand by.
There's still time. There's still time.
Exactly, right? And thank you. Let me say up front, thank you to everybody who wrote nice. I tried to respond to all of them. If I missed any, I apologize. Thank you for all the condolence notes I got this week. That was very kind of you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, very sorry, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Much love to you and your family. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Education Technology Day. I should have broken out my eMate 300.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Education Technology Day. Yeah, it celebrates and appreciates the technology that helps students to learn better and teachers to teach better. So there you go. Yeah, good stuff.
What's it? Prometheus
like
board. That's education technology. Yeah.
I forget who posted it, but somebody I follow on one of the social medias, friend or acquaintance, posted like. So I was helping my kid with their English, and I told him, "Hey, you gotta learn this stuff." Knowing full well that like when I was a kid, I was doing math, and I was like, "I'm not going to need to know this." I told my dad, I'm not going to, when he was helping me with that, I'm not going to need to know this. We have calculators, why do we need this? And he said, so when he told his son that, his son said, "Dad, we've got ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I don't need to know this stuff."
That's right.
Oh, man. And I was told when I was a child that you'll never get anywhere. You can't get a job sitting there and just looking out the window.
Is that so, Pete?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. Watch this. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get some more quick tips.
All right.
All right. Porthos John brings us our next quick tip. He says, and there's a link for this that we will put into the show notes, but he says, A quick tip for searching the Mac keyboard symbols on the Emoji keyboard, activated by the menu function key on MacBooks and Magic keyboards, or Command-Control-Space on other keyboards. And there are all kinds of things that these things are named. So the Command key is named Place of Interest. The Shift key is upwards white arrow. So you can search for these things if you want to have, and I'm talking about the icons for these keys. So if you want to type the Command keys icon and you can't remember what the shortcut is for it, you can do Command-Control-Space and search for Place of Interest, and you will get the Command key. Upwards white arrow is Shift key. Of course, these things aren't named after what their keys are, which would make life a whole lot simpler. But there's a whole list.
Key.
Yeah, no, and you can't, right? Wouldn't that be great if you could hit the key, like do something to hit the key? A third party could make an extension that let you do that for sure.
Oh, I bet BetterTouchTool could probably reassign it.
Right? Yeah, Keyboard Maestro, any of these could do it. And he shares, you can also do the old method of turning on the Unicode keyboard in Keyboard Preferences and then selecting it in the Input Sources menu. But then you need to know and remember all the Unicode codes for the symbols you want. And some added info, just because Porthos John is the curious type. You're in good company, my friend. When developing the Mac in the early 80s, Steve Jobs felt that the current Open Apple, Closed Apple key that existed on the Apple II series cheapened the Apple logo by using it everywhere. So he set the Apple design team to find something else. The Command key symbol that we all know and love was found by Susan Kerr, the chief UI designer for the Mac, in the International Symbol Directory. The original use was on road signs in Scandinavia, mostly Sweden, to denote places of interest, hence the strange-looking phrase for the icon in the Emoji keyboard. Thank you for that. I love the little history lesson.
I love the trivia. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And an extra piece of quick tip along that line is when you want to find the emoji, how do you do it? And, I used to scroll and scroll and scroll. I can't find it. Oh, this is driving me nuts. There's a little search window up. If you pull up the Emoji keyboard on either iOS or macOS, there's a little search window. In iOS, it says search emoji. If you say type donkey, it'll bring you to the donkey emoji, or so whatever you're looking for. Clown, it'll bring up the clown emoji. So donkey and clown I put together often, but figure that out on your own, folks.
I knew where you were going with that before.
I didn't even know I was going there until I got there. But
yeah, I was like, I don't think he knows what he's doing here, and I appreciate that. That's great. I don't know what you did. I have no idea. I
have a quick question. So on iOS, right, you have that cool feature where if you type a phrase and it matches an emoji, it pops that up with like the suggested, sort of type ahead thing.
Yeah.
And I just tried it on the Mac. The Mac doesn't have that, right? Or have I turned something off?
No, I'm trying to think. Does Messages have it? I don't think so.
Maybe Messages does, but I just tried it in Notes and it didn't work. So,
interesting, because I'm right here. Even in I've got Chrome at the front right now, and if I hit that little globe to call up the emoji keyboard, it comes right up.
No. I mean, it auto suggests it. So it's like the type ahead suggestions that you get on iOS will do emojis. So and I think it even like highlights the word. And it's like, this word has an emoji associated with it. But yeah, it was just interesting. I thought it was on the Mac, and I was like...
The Mac sort of does this. So if I go into the chat, for like the Mac Geek Gab live stream at macgeekgab.com/live, I think that's one of the URLs, and I type the word pumpkin, and then I hit Command-Control-Space, or as Porthos John says, the function key. Then it brings up the emoji picker, but only shows me the pumpkin. And I have to hit the emoji picker thing again, the Command-Control-Space again to get the full list. So it's sort of there.
That's great. That's a great tip. I just did not know that. So if your cursor's right at the end of the word, hit the emoji shortcut, and like I type flower and it's showing the 3 flower emojis.
The 3 flowers, yeah. And then if you wanted something else, just hit the shortcut again and you
Yep.
get the full picker. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And-
Cool.
And here's a thought. You think pop culture hasn't affected all this? Just go searching emojis, type "DO," and you get various grimace faces. DOH.
Nice.
Why don't
I
you
like
get the
that.
pink? Why don't you get the pink donut?
Oh.
You probably could if you type donut.
No,
No,
but dough
for dough.
should.
yeah.
Because Homer likes his donuts, man. Yeah. All right.
Donuts.
This combined that is actually a copyrighted sound. The dough is from Homer is a copyrighted sound. There are very, very few sounds, the NBC logo being one of them, or the NBC audio logo.
The
Correct,
bong.
correct. Costanza. Right. Yeah, exactly. But there are very few, and that is one of them. So between that and our
We may get kicked off of YouTube
our
today.
rogue efforts with the pre-show music, we might get kicked off of YouTube today. That's
Good
right.
luck finding that there, folks. YouTube scanners. Go get them.
Oh, I think they'll find it. Like it's,
and
yeah.
Apparently, I have memory
not
bias.
the don't, but the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memory
Sorry, Adam.
bias, because I thought Apple's donut emoji was the pink frosted, but it's actually chocolate frosted. So I got that wrong.
Joe.
Okay. All right. I have no idea where my cursor is.
You know what? Perry wrote in,
Okay.
and he
What's Perry
said,
say?
look, yeah, he said, I've always missed viewing the details behind the songs that the liner notes used to provide for those of us who grew up with physical record albums. But here's a quick tip. I'm not sure if this has been mentioned, but I just discovered that one can view song credits, performers, producers, etc. in Apple Music. Here's how. There are 3 dots to the right of each song title in your playlist. Click on those and you will get the option to view credits. There you can see all those who helped create the song that you're enjoying. I'm sure this feature has been there and I just didn't know about it, and it's fun to go back and see the details behind the great music. Enjoy, Perry. But wait, there's more. I wrote back to Perry, look, I'm not an Apple Music guy because my daughter got to Spotify first, so we're on the Spotify family plan, and I often open Shazam, and I noticed that it often refers to Apple Music, and so I tapped on a song that I'd recently played in or Shazammed, I guess. Is that a verb? It is now. And the option came up to play it in Apple Music or Spotify. So I tried it, and lo and behold, the same 3 dots appear to the view credits and view album and view artist, and all those options and more appeared to give me that background information. So, Perry, you didn't know it, but you sent a quick tip for both Apple Music and Spotify, and you can get there via Shazam if you want to. So thank you for that.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Remember
cool.
when Apple tried to fix that problem in iTunes when they had that album thing that they were doing where they virtualized, like, basically along with your album you got a PDF. It was essentially a PDF in iTunes, and it was like the album cover and the images and the
The
liner
cover
notes
art and yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that they tried to solve that problem. I miss the liner notes, and I realize, like that's just because I experienced it. For my kids, they are aware of them, but they don't have the same relationship to them that I do, or that because they couldn't. Like their
Right.
favorite artist didn't release stuff that way. It's just but I miss it. Like I that experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was a
so
good
I-
idea. They had a lot of ideas around music where they, like cover flow and all kinds of fun stuff that just never went anywhere.
Yeah, it never took off. Yep. JMM has a quick tip for anyone who needs their Mac to lock automatically when moving away from it, right? A few weeks ago on the show here, we were talking about that utility called BLE Unlock, which locks one's Mac when moving away from it through monitoring the presence of your iPhone or your Apple Watch via Bluetooth Low Energy. The problem is that JMM follows up is I only need this to work when I'm not at home. After some research, I found that BetterTouchTool also has a Bluetooth trigger, and when it triggers, it can run a shortcut, and that shortcut checks my location and local network because it can get the Wi-Fi name, right? And if it's not the home network, it locks the screen. It works like a charm, and he says I set it up within 2 minutes. Shout out to Better Touch Tool. My guess is Keyboard Maestro could maybe. I don't know if it's got Bluetooth triggers. That would be interesting to check out. But either way, Better Touch Tool is there. He says, P.S. There are many Bluetooth LE triggers, and one can set the distance at which the triggers fire. Very useful. I am going to do this with my laptop. Yeah, I like this. It's good. Yeah.
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 All right.
Oh,
I got one from Todd.
Go.
Unless we have some additional stuff there. So Todd wrote in and he says, I was helping out a good but not so Mac savvy friend remotely. I wanted him to share his MacBook screen, but he had no idea what his Apple ID was, nor had he set up the Messages app. It hit me that when you go to System Settings and click on the uppermost left Apple ID button, your name is top right with your Apple ID below it. Thanks to Pete's tip a ways back, I remembered the screen sharing app in the application folder utilities folder. I opened the screen sharing app, clicked the plus button on the upper right. He read off his Apple ID. I entered it, and he was sharing his screen in no time. So that's pretty cool. Quick way to share your screen.
I like it. That's handy. Yeah.
Somebody
that would
who
help.
maybe doesn't know how. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Huh.
And for those of you that just have iPhones but Windows computers, when we do guests on our show, it's so much easier to help them when they have a Mac. So now go out and buy yourself a Mac so people can help you with your...
Yeah.
You're welcome, Apple. I'll expect the check this week.
I mean, these days, if it's a non-Mac person or even with Mac people, I almost default fall back to Zoom.
Same.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is you have to they have to go through the authorize Zoom, relaunch Zoom to do the screen share.
Right.
And now with macOS 15, I know we're going to talk about all this, but like these notifications that say, do you want to allow this app is trying to do something that like operates a little bit outside the realm of what is allowed by the normal permission. So do you want to allow it for 30 days?
Mm-hmm.
You guys seeing that too?
That. Yeah. No, I want to let it go forever. I'll tell you
I'm
if
not
I
running
want to stop
betas
it.
yet. Yeah.
No, macOS 15 is out.
Yeah.
macOS
Sayonara
15 is
came
out
this week.
Sayonara's out. That's right. It's
I haven't upgraded yet.
Okay, so
I'm doing a play, Dave.
I know. Oh, right. Yeah, Adam is knee deep in tech rehearsals. You're not even in Tech Week yet. Yeah, that's right. I understand and appreciate this. So yeah, macOS 15 has this thing where it does this. Like it asks for default folder. I think it asks for Zoom. It asks for a lot of screen sharing things, and then it's like, do you want to allow this for 30 days? And it's like I see that. And my first thought is I've seen this on Windows before, and I watched it. Like I did a ton of consulting on Windows, removing viruses from people's computers. And I can't tell you how many times I sat down with somebody and, they would call me and say, Dave, my computer's not working. Okay, great. So I come out, I sit with them. My MO when I consult is you sit down, show me the problem, because sometimes the path I would take might avoid the problem, right? So I have them sit down. They show me the problem. I can't tell you how many times somebody would wake their computer up or whatever and click through 8 security notices to just dismiss them. And I would like stop them like, whoa, I want to read those. Like, oh no, those come up all the time. We just blow through those. I'm like, yeah, right. But it's possible maybe one of those might, I'd have to politely tell them, yeah, but that's where the valuable data is going to be for us to fix this issue,
Yeah.
And they get alert blindness and just blast through all this stuff. And
Yep.
I'm really concerned that Sayonara macOS 15 is going to cause that same thing, because in addition to that, nearly every app I have launched on my Mac has asked me for local network access. QuickBooks asked this. Thunderbird, my email client, asked it when I went to print. And that, I think it's asking for local network access when an app says it wants to print things. And I that's not that's not the app asking for local network access. Like the app's not talking to my printer. The OS is. I don't know, man. Because I don't want to give an app that wants to print doesn't need local network access. So again, this alert blindness, alert fatigue. I missed who said it, but somebody called it alert. Dan,
alert fatigue is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's not the way to solve this security problem.
No, it reminds me of that. Remember the Apple Windows Mac Windows commercial about 15 years ago. You want to do this, allow or deny. You're coming to a sad realization, allow or deny.
Yes.
And that was the poking fun at Windows Vista.
Yep.
Right.
So which was 2007, which is why I am a Mac user to this day. Thank you, Windows.
Well, maybe not anymore if this continues.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Where's that Vista program I was talking about?
No, we're not going there. We're going to Linux.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder if I registered Linux Geek Gab. I think I did. There's a lot of Geek Gab domains that I own. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So I don't know. I was planning on getting into that in our segment about all the new Apple OSs that we'll do a little bit later in the show, but here we are with it. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't, it's an odd choice for Apple to make. So, Anyway, Greg has a quick tip for us about Math Notes on the iPad with iPadOS 18. He says, it's cool, and I found a cool little tip inside of Math Notes, which is the thing where you can draw your math equation and have the device, your iPad, start to solve it. What's really cool is once you have an equation built, you can tap on a number in it and you get a little slider widget above the number that lets you slide the number greater or less than it is. It'll notch it up. He put the number 511 and he said it notched in integers. So it went, 510 or 512 and so on, and depending on the direction. And the whole rest of the equation changes to follow what right? I mean, you're changing one of the inputs yep. And so the whole thing changes. It updates dynamically. That's cool. I had played a little bit with Math Notes and I did not realize that I could do that. So that's the,
well, here's why that's cool to me. You're looking for a number that to get you know what the answer you want is, and you can slide it until, that's what I need to input to get the answer I want.
I like this.
Oh, love that. That is brilliant. Nice.
Yep.
Right.
I like it. Yep.
Why do I need to learn math again?
Right? We got calculators, man.
I like you, Adam. I knew. Yep.
I bet like ChatGPT can probably solve math problems too. Just
I'm sure.
You're all gonna. This is a ChatGPT tip. Actually, I got two ChatGPT tips. The first one, I know you've shared this, Pete, but it never really hit me until I did it. Enabling ChatGPT's voice mode. When you said it to me, Pete, I thought you were talking about just using Apple's speech to text and sending inputs to ChatGPT. That is not what you meant at all.
No,
I use this in the car now. There is a voice mode where it doesn't show you text on the screen. It just shows you like a moving blob. It is what we will eventually get when the full Siri integration is there too. There is no CarPlay for it, but I use it in the car. I just put it into voice mode. And when I'm driving home from gigs late at night and I need to make sure I stay awake, I literally have a conversation about something. I pick a topic that I want to learn about, and I tell ChatGPT, teach me about this. We probably in the next few months, we're going to be buying a car. I love the whole negotiation process. I know I'm a weird person, but I like to understand it. And I was like, wait a minute. I know there are things I don't know about the car, the way the car business works. Like
known unknowns.
What don't I know? Like
unknown unknowns. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How does I know there's invoice pricing, but I also know that that's irrelevant. And sometimes dealerships get free cars. How does that work? I don't understand it because I've never been in that business. And so it told me a bunch of things, and then I asked some clarifying questions. And at one point, it misunderstood a clarifying question. I stopped it, and I'm like, no, wait. And it was like, I'm sorry. And I restated my question, and I had a conversation with it. And I mean, it kept me perfectly awake for the ride home. It was amazing. Yeah. So that's
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say, no, finish up.
I think I have another tip. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, Idiocracy was not just a film, it's a prophecy. And we will all worship at the Church of Mike Judge soon.
I already worship at the Church of Mike Judge, so it's okay.
There you go. I was going to say, I used it for recently for an audiobook that was relatively poorly recorded. It, complete works of William Shakespeare, and it's kind of acted, so it's like, well, who's talking, who's not, and all that kind of stuff. So I asked it to give me a summary of, I think it was A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it did, and then I was able to better follow along as the Audible book read. It went, okay, now I know who's...
Yeah.
It helped along those lines, too. But yeah, you can, and as I said before, on my original tip, I had it, hey, tell me how to do this, and stop at each step and wait till I tell you to move on. So it walked me through how to, I forget what it was now, but it was getting my Sonos speakers back on the network because they wouldn't play nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now I get it. I completely, I didn't understand. And so that's why I wanted to sort of reiterate this, because I know there were hopefully, I wasn't the only one that missed it. Probably not. The other thing I did with ChatGPT the other day, and a lot of you are going to not want to do this, and I totally understand. I used ChatGPT's transparent or temporary mode where it says it doesn't store anything. I know it stores everything. It's fine. I got, there was an issue with my LabCorp account where I couldn't log in and see my new test results. I could only see the old ones. And I had, some test results ahead of a physical, just normal stuff. Everything's fine. And, but there was one number we wanted to check and make sure. And so, but they did a whole thing. And so LabCorp was great. They're like, we need to send it to our IT department to merge two accounts because it seems you have two here. But here's the PDF of your results. But the PDF was not like their website where it tells you what the range of these things should be. It was just, here's all the numbers. And it was like, I don't know all this stuff. And there's my doctor, ordered 50 different tests or something. I'm like, oh crap. I just want to know, is this one number, are my liver numbers? It was what it was. Is it in the right range? And so I was like, well, wait a minute. I went to ChatGPT. I opened up temporary mode. A lot of you are cringing right now. Yes, I did it. I asked, can I upload this PDF and just have you tell me if any numbers in here are out of the acceptable ranges for a, person I described who I was. And it was like, of course. And so I sent it the PDF, and within 5 seconds, it was like, all of your numbers are perfect. You're great. And then it went through and explained why each one was perfect. So
nice.
it was I mean, super helpful. I realize that now the world has my test result numbers, but whatever.
They did already.
They had them anyway. Yeah,
and
they were emailed to
ChatGPT is
me.
practicing medicine without a license. So,
Right.
How did they send you that PDF?
But so are you and I,
That's
Dave.
the thing. I was shocked that LabCorp just emailed me the PDF without having to go through a secure interface. Correct. It was already out in the wild. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So Google read it.
Well,
Did
my
it go to
emails.
Gmail?
No, my email's with Fastmail. So,
Okay.
but I don't know what their email provider. Who knows where it hopped through in the middle, right?
Well, at least the FBI has it.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's stored in a
news.
server out in Utah.
Yep, they know I'm still a good human resource to use because I'm healthy and everything checks out.
Yeah.
So,
Boy.
here we are.
Yeah.
You want to take us to
that's
Rick,
cool.
our final quick tip, Pete?
I am going to make it so. Yeah, Rick wrote in, and before I read what Rick has to say, Dave, you know the gent who creates Downcast, right? Or no?
From Jamakanaw? Yeah.
Or is it Overcast?
Yeah. I know
No.
Marco, who makes Overcast, yes.
Overcast. So Overcast is the one I'm having problems with. It just keeps stopping. I've rebooted. I've turned off every other program on my iPhone and all that. So if you're listening, Marco, I don't know what's wrong, but Overcast with iOS 17. whatever.
you haven't
latest
upgraded to 18 yet?
is.
Oh, okay.
No, I've been trying to, and I can't find it. It's not coming up yet. So, yeah, I've been looking all week. Hey, where is it? Where is it? No, you're on the latest 17.4 or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it Friday. So after the show, I'm going to mess with it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I digress. So yeah, Overcast is it just is. It'll stop in the middle of a show, and sometimes frequently I'll get like 3 sentences and it'll stop again. Like, cut it out. But I mentioned this back on 1052, and Rick wrote in, hey, look, in show 1052, you mentioned a frustration with playing your podcast in a particular order, oldest to newest. I've struggled with the same problem for years on Apple Podcasts app, and I subscribe to a new show, and I want to listen to the oldest to the newest, but not all the way back to the beginning. It never worked. Right? I mean, you don't.
Yeah,
maybe
one or
you do
the
want
other.
to go back and listen to Mac Geek Gab 1, but that's going to take you a long time to get through all of us. He says, anyway, I recently noticed that something that's been working for me. You go to your library and select a show. Not channels, not saved, not downloaded, and not up next. So select the show. Show all episodes. Pick the show where you want to begin, or I should say the episode where you want to begin, and hit play. Then change the display to show all unplayed. It now plays from your starting show episode and jumps to the next newer show just like you wanted. In the show settings, it needs to be set to the sort order newest to oldest. That seems backwards. Seems to me you want oldest to newest, but I could be wrong. Anyway, this has been working for me. Should not be this hard. You're right. It shouldn't be, Rick. Hope this helps. Give it a try. Great show with you and the guys, Rick. And I played with this a little bit last night, and it seems to work. But I don't remember. I just commented there. Seems like it should be sort order oldest to newest, not newest to oldest.
That's what you
want. I'll have to go look. So.
No, you have it right.
Yeah.
You want it old, because I have mine sorted that way. I've used this. I did this a long time ago for my podcast for this exact same reason.
Okay.
Huh.
So I mean, you can have it however you want. If you want newest to oldest, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
If you prefer oldest to newest, which I prefer because that's generally the order that I don't want to
broadcast
hear.
in, and they'll frequently there's like an hour. Like there's one show I listen to. He does 2 hours a day, but he breaks it up each hour, and I get the second hour first.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want the first hour first, and so that's why I wanted that sort order. But but Apple Podcasts I've been now using for about a week and a half because I can't get Overcast to stopping.
You submit a bug report to Marco for that. Yeah. Or join. There's an Overcast Slack channel, I want to say. I think it's Slack.
Okay.
I've been getting Slack and Discord confused all day, so don't trust me on that.
Yeah.
I'm also... Go ahead. Never mind.
I was just saying, Pete, you may have been remembering, I kind of knew the Downcast developer, the original one, Seth MacFarlane. I think he sold the app to somebody else. And for a long time, when it was under him, MacCast was in the artwork on the app store for a long, long time. So,
okay. Well, those are tough names to remember. Is it Downcast? Is it Overcast? It's podcast.
Pocket Casts.
Yeah. The problem is now a lot of them all have in-app purchases and that kind of stuff. Shouldn't be that way. I'm grateful that it's free. And if it, you know what? Actually, I think Overcast may be at $2.99 or $3.99 or something, but it's been worth every penny.
No. Overcast is free. You can choose to support it and get some other features out of it, of course. Okay. But Overcast is free. Yeah. Okay. Marco. I mean, he makes money from it because there's ads. You can buy ads in it to promote your podcast.
Gotcha.
And things like that.
Well,
so
I need to go look at that then. So
you just remind me of something real quick before. So I listen to like long YouTube things, especially at night when I'm going to bed, like streams. There are VODs of streams, so 2-3 hour things. I've noticed that YouTube now there's people putting their podcasts in as YouTube ads. So like literally it will be a 30 to an hour-long ad. So just an idea for us.
Whoa.
I wonder if the cost on that, well, I mean, immediately I start thinking about, do they get to count that as a listen, a view, a listen to their podcast, and therefore sell advertising based on those increased numbers that they have paid for? And are the economics of it such that they could make more selling ads than they can for, like, that's the only reason I could see somebody.
All I know is I'll wake up and it'll be some podcast and I'm like, what the heck is this? And sometimes it's like even like a religious one or a very political one, or like just like it's like jammed in there.
I wonder if rates are cheaper, like in the middle of the night for YouTube ads. Like, is this like the television where there's prime time? And I don't know. I haven't bought those kinds of YouTube ads. This is fascinating.
Really catches fish.
Yeah, that's right. Just like
I've been meaning to tell you, so that was a good
YouTube.
opportunity.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh.
Okay. Sorry.
All right.
I digress.
No, it's okay. In the digression thing, we talked about listening back to Mac Geek Gab since episode 1. And since we were just talking about uploading a file to ChatGPT and having it analyze it, I took our RSS feed and uploaded it to ChatGPT and asked it to look at the iTunes duration tag and sum them all up and tell me how many hours, days, whatever of Mac Geek Gab. Now, it says it's the duration of all the podcasts from episode 1 is 11 days. 11 and a half days. Is that right? Would it only take 11 and a half days to play? I need to spot check this, but I'm having trouble doing the math in my head. This is 1056. So
that
1055.
Can't be right, because that's only 276 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So it didn't look at the whole thing.
24 is 276.
Yeah. I mean, at an average of an hour, and we know they're longer than that, it would be 63,360 hours.
Okay. So it either, and I don't know, it either didn't look at the whole file, or we don't have iTunes duration tags going back to the beginning, which is also a possibility. I made an assumption that might be very wrong. So,
yeah, because this is show 1056. If every show was exactly 1 hour, it would take 44 days to get through.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll have to look at the feed. I will look at the feed at some point and figure out whether ChatGPT got this wrong or if I asked it to do the wrong thing. What's that? I don't know. Pete's making noise over there. Pete, you're making noise. I want to tell everybody about our sponsor, which is 1Password Extended Access Management. Picture your company's security like a college campus quad. You've got those nice brick paths, right? Company-owned devices, IT-approved apps, all neat and tidy. But let's be honest, who sticks to the paths, right? People are cutting across the grass like they're in a hurry to grab the latest donut in the break room. Donuts. Those are your unmanaged devices, shadow IT apps, and contractors who think they're invisible. Most security tools, they only guard those brick paths. But we all know the real action is happening in the grass. Don't get caught letting your data run wild like a pack of ferrets on Red Bull trying to steal your lunch. Enter our sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management. It's like hiring a digital sheepdog to round up all those rogue devices, apps, and sneaky contractors. It keeps every credential strong, every device healthy, and every app visible. It's like the superhero cape your security's been missing, minus the tights, thankfully. So don't get caught taking security shortcuts. Check out 1Password Extended Access Management at 1password.com/MGG. That's one, the number one, password.com/MGG. Keep your data safe. No ferrets required. And thanks to 1Password Extended Access Management for sponsoring this episode. I think ChatGPT did a good job with that. I like that read. That was fun.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun stuff. All right. So have either of you, we already know some of the answer to this question. Adam, you haven't updated to macOS 15. Have you updated to iOS 18?
Yes, on my iPhone. Yep.
On your iPhone. Okay. And Pete, have you haven't updated to iOS 18 because your phone's telling you it's
Right.
not available, which
Yeah.
Have you
Which
updated
is
to
silly.
macOS 15 yet?
I have, and
Okay.
I noticed that 30-day warning amongst other things. It's like, wait, and it added several new panels, and I forget what they were, but it took me. The nice thing is when you hit yes, it takes you to the system settings panel you need to authorize it for that 30 days. But
I don't
At
know
least
that
mine
it
did.
does. So that's the question I've had, because you get two options on that little panel. One is authorized for 30 days, and the other is go to system settings. And when it brings me there, there's no authorized for 30 days option. The app is already checked to be authorized for whatever the base version of the feature
Yeah.
is.
now that you
So
mention it, that was the case. So I didn't notice any 30-day tag on there either. I wonder
Right.
if it would set a timer and turn them off in 30 days. I know not, because I didn't check that.
Oh. Because it was already on, so now is it going to turn it off in 30 days?
Yeah.
Oh, if that's the
don't know.
case, then at least I get to choose. Is it 30 days or is it lifetime?
Right.
Is
Let's
that
hope
what
that
it's
that's the
trying to
case.
ask me?
Let's hope that's the case.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Because I did choose 30 days for quite a few apps. So when they come back up for renewal, I will not renew them and instead open system settings to see if it has turned it off. Wait a minute.
So on October
Wait a minute.
21st, everything will be broken.
No, sooner than that, because it came out September 15th. But yeah, October by then, certainly. But wait a minute. Remember how we have given the tip on this show over time that you need to go into full disk access, accessibility, and like the screen sharing one, because some things just wind up being off that should be on.
Yep.
Do you think that when you say yes in the dialogue on macOS 14, it's only enabling it for 30 days? And now it's telling us that that's what it's doing?
Yeah.
Because it was unexplainable why these things were off. And it was like, yeah, and I just got to remember to go and turn them on.
It would have been nice to get some update notes like that with, like when it comes out with a new,
Yeah.
when a
Well,
program
maybe that's
updates
what they're
itself,
doing.
it says, hey, this is what's going on. For instance,
You have to-
I was going to
You
say
have to
that,
click that-
Stephen
you have
A.
to click
wrote
the
this
little-
week, Bartender updated something, and one of the things it said, it fixed an issue where some images would load correctly.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
I think they meant to say would not load
Would
correctly.
not. Of
but,
course. Yes, of course. Yeah.
But a note like that going, hey, this is what we're doing, be aware.
Yep.
Don't you
Adam.
have to just click the little, so when you bring up software update and it says, we want to update you to this, it usually has some text under that. And then there is usually a link that says, like, click here for more info or something like that, right? And doesn't that go to the Apple page, the like full detailed release notes? And you can scroll through that massive thing if you really feel
Yes.
like it.
It is there. Yeah, it is there. But I wonder if that 30-day thing has always been there and now they're just being more articulate about it. It would check out. We'll find out. And if somebody knows, feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Wait, where? Feedback at macgeekgab.com?
Yes. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
While we are on macOS 15, there's a couple of things I wanted to share, a couple of tips I've noticed. If you are a homebrew user, your ability to install apps is broken when you install a new operating system. No, Adam's giving me the thumbs down. It's only because the new OS does not by default install the new version of the command line tools that Brew runs on. So one tip, run Brew, go to the terminal and run Brew Doctor. And that will give you instruction. It will check to make sure everything's okay. And if it's not, it will give you specific instructions of the two commands to run to get everything back in business. And it's fairly trivial. once you know to do it. But you can get ahead of that. So yeah. Run brew doctor.
Don't mess with my terminal stuff when you upgrade the operating system.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No, I know they have to. They're doing, again, all this security stuff, and it's ultimately good. But that's my biggest frustration when I do upgrades nowadays. It's not like the OS stuff is fine. Like that all usually goes very, very well for me. But all my developer stuff and command line, my lamp stack, and like everything I have to like rebuild, like usually, which is annoying.
Right. Yeah. Also with macOS 15, some things have moved around in system settings. One of them is if you go to system settings, login items and extensions, and scroll all the way down, you will see quick look extensions there. And these are things that apps can add and you can turn on or off so that you get quick looks of more and more stuff, which is nice to see. Full disk access. At first, I thought they had taken away my ability to control it, but no, it just moved. It's no longer in it's still in the privacy and security pane of system settings, but it's not in the section of it where like accessibility and screen sharing is. It's in the section above that. And otherwise it all works the same, but I was like, wait, where is it? And I was actually literally there looking at it, but I had to search to find it, and I wasn't proud of that, but it's okay. We can't all see everything all the time. Yeah, I think that's my stuff on macOS 15. It's been fairly smooth. Audio people that I have not upgraded the studio machine to macOS 15. Audio people that have said that some audio devices that they would have not expected to work with a new OS upgrade in the past have just worked. So it's possible that core audio didn't change as much as it has in the past. I'm just that's a guess. So
okay. Well, I did have to update both loopback and audio hijack, and they both came up seamlessly once I did. Okay. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So that was nice. Well, we're still talking about
Safari on macOS 15 is causing me an issue with every WordPress site that I have. And it's when editing an article, creating a new blog post or editing an existing blog post, the body of the post is on the left, and then every other widget is in the right column. They're all shoved over there, and I can't figure out. I got to go to, I did actually. I have one WordPress site that's just like vanilla WordPress, and I don't know, and it's broken there too. So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is. I've looked online. I haven't seen people complaining about it, but it's happening on both of my macOS 15 Macs with Safari. Oddly, not happening on my macOS 14.7 Mac, which is only running Safari 17.6. I thought Safari had been updated up here in the studio. It has not. So it's a Safari 18 thing. So if you know anything about Safari 18 and WordPress, feedback at macgeekgab.com.
You heard him.
Any chance it could be an extension that you have in Safari?
It could. That's fair. I don't think I have any that are modifying things, but you're right. That's a good place to check. I will take a look at that. Great, because extensions are synced between multiple versions of Safari. So yes. Okay. All right. I will dig into that. I'll report back, my friend. iOS 18. You're running iOS 18, Adam? Yeah?
Yep. To be honest, I don't think I've noticed much. Probably the most prominent thing I noticed is the new, you can use any emoji as a tap back on a message. Trying to think of anything else that has popped up. I know there's things that have popped up, but I think none of them were really like, I really needed that in my life sort of features.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I have been eager to get RCS, speaking of messaging, RCS support in messages in iOS 18. I've been running the betas since I could, and the 18.1 beta specifically, which has been the AI stuff. That's as I said, that's the reason I bought more than one phone this time around, because I want the whole family to have all the AI stuff. But RCS support, I am a Mint Mobile customer, as many of you know, and the carrier has to enable support for RCS on their end. Now, many carriers, the big three carriers, already had, because Android uses RCS. A lot of the MVNO carriers, the virtual carriers, did not implement RCS on their systems. Instead, they just tell you, well, run Google's messaging app, which does RCS via Google's servers and not via the carrier's servers. And so some of those carriers have already implemented it, like Visible has it, Metro has it, of course, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile have it, but Mint does not. And their CEO posted on their sort of semi-official Reddit thread that they are working on it. He says, I'm with you, I want it too, but it will take a few months before we see it. Yeah. I will say, though, that since running the iOS 18 betas, the group chats that I have with Android users have been far more functional than the group chats that I had with iOS 17 and prior. I can do all the replies. It feels like a rich text experience. I can do the tap backs, and I can see tap backs that other people have done. I can do replies. Images that come through are not being mangled. So something is happening to make it at least seem like a better experience, even though if it's not. Like, Apple's done something. I'm not sure how to describe what they've done, but they've done something. But I am eagerly awaiting RCS, hopefully by the end of the year.
We all know what I'm waiting for, which is scheduling texts.
Yeah. Well, did you send that to apple.com/feedback? Different feedback engine, Pete.
Yeah. No, but they ostensibly it's in there.
Yeah, they added it, right?
Well, sort of, but your phone still needs to be online. It's not being sent from the system.
Right.
But yes, you are correct. Like it is something that you can do. Correct. Yes.
So I guess two other things I noticed that I just thought of are, I immediately noticed the sort of redone control center as being more colorful. It's got like colored icons for like the volume slider and the brightness slider and all that fun stuff. So it seemed more colorful. I think it has some new organization and new functionality as well. But and then I also immediately noticed the changes to photos, and I'm not sure how I feel about those yet. They're redesigned.
Give it 2 weeks. I think you'll like it. I felt the same way. Yep.
No, I think my immediate reaction is I think I kind of like this. I already talked, I think, on the last episode about not being able to find my favorites for a while, so that was a little frustrating. But like, once I figured it out, I'm fine. But yeah, I kind of like the new kind of single everything in one place organization to it. I know it still has, like sections and stuff like that, but like overall, everything is just kind of front and center, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't have the icons along the bottom anymore, do you?
No.
Yeah. So it's just like more of a vertical scrolling kind of thing. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So far,
exactly.
I think I like it. It's fine. But I already know that, like I said, my wife is change averse. And when she sees that, I'm not going to have a a good day.
She has not updated her phone yet?
Oh, no, she hasn't updated her phone in forever. I wouldn't be surprised if she's on 13 or 12.
Oh, wow. All right. Interesting. Huh. Interesting.
And we've mentioned on here, I don't make her upgrade.
Oh, of course.
Because we talked about the security thing and like all that, but it's just like, it's not worth the.
Yeah.
Go through.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I love my wife and she's great. Just
of course.
For the record.
Of course. Yeah, I don't hear any tone of complaint here. You've acknowledged the scenario and you've gone with it. Speaking of the control center, JG sent us a note pointing out says, I was customizing Control Center after updating to iOS 18 and found the option that allows any app to be added to Control Center for quick access. So you have your dock, and then you have Control Center where you can add, shortcuts and apps and all of the other things, of course, too. He says, I have a couple of apps, and this is perfect. So it's definitely a cool thing, and I wanted to share it as a quick tip. So, yeah, thank you for that, JJ. That's fantastic. I noticed that iOS 18 now lets you choose a preferred HomeKit hub, whereas previously, it's not just iOS 18. All of your tvOS devices on your HomeKit network, like everything needs to be updated to 18 before you will even see this interface. But once they are there, you can go into the Home app, into the Home settings, and if you've got two Apple TVs on your network, previously it would just choose on its own which one was going to be the hub, and you might have one that's wired and one that's wireless, and it keeps choosing the wireless one, and you're like, please just choose the wired one. And now you can tell it, please just choose the wired one. You can say this is, set a preferred hub. So it doesn't affect everybody, but for the people it affects, it's a really welcome change. So I was excited about that. So, and then any thoughts about that? Yeah.
Could you use an old iPad as a hub?
Yes.
Probably not powerful. You could.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. An iPad, in fact, can be a hub. It needs to obviously be on all the time. But yes, If you're one of those people that has like a kitchen iPad that's just powered up all the time, that shows the time or recipes or, whatever it is, that's your HomeKit hub. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I was just, Mom's iPad is several years old, and I didn't know what to do with it, and it may be dedicated to that.
Yep. But your Apple TV can also be a HomeKit hub. So,
sure.
And that is
obviously.
powered all the time. Correct.
My Mini's always on. I suppose that's more powerful.
I don't know that a Mac Mini I don't think a Mac can be a HomeKit hub. Strangely enough.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It can't, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the power. Who knows?
No, it just isn't.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
It just isn't. It just doesn't work.
Walter in the chat is saying he thought we can't use an iPad as a hub anymore. So he might be right. I don't.
Okay.
I may have to take that back. No.
And Paul Conaway says he is correct. Yeah.
Confirms it. Okay. So that feature went away. So iPads and Macs are not powerful enough to be HomeKit hubs, Pete. It's just the Apple TV. I realized what I said.
Right.
Oddly, you can use a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, you still can't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wonder, though, if someone has written an open source thing that simulates enough of what you would need to be a HomeKit hub. Probably not, because there's a lot of security stuff in there.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to take us to the other two tips that you have about iOS 18 here, Pete?
Yeah, let's do it. So Wilko wrote in and mentioned, let's read it. He says, "Hi, chaps," or "Hey, chaps. No doubt you're also browsing through all the new goodies that iOS, it said 17, but I think he meant 18, brings us.
18.
The one that might not catch your eye immediately is that the keyboards. As a Dutch person, I, like many here, often combine Dutch and English intermixed, sometimes even in the same sentence. Of course, autocorrect has a hard time dealing with that. Now with iOS 18, we can have bilingual keyboards. In Settings, General, Keyboards, you can select and add a second language. Telegrade and so far improves spell checking. You can best decide whether this is quick tip or a cool stuff found. I say it's both. Greets, Wilko. So yeah,
that's cool.
If anybody wants to know my mindset about quick tips versus cool, this would be a quick tip. I'll explain why. The cool stuff found is a piece of software or a piece of hardware, like a thing. And this is just in my brain. Like it can be anything. It doesn't matter. But my brain is cool stuff found is for a thing. So nothing in Apple's operating system would be cool stuff found. It would be a quick tip. It'd be a thing that you didn't know, but it's right there and it's easy to do and amazing, right? So that's how I compartmentalize stuff when I'm like throwing the agenda together, just in case anybody cares. The sausage. Yep.
Being me.
So So before we get to the next thing, there is an operating system that I upgraded to that's not on this list.
Go.
visionOS 2.0.
Oh, yes.
And I have been using that, and that has some amazing features in it. The convert your any photo to a spatial photo is unbelievable. It is so good. I did not expect it to be as good as it is. And I've been going through and converting some of my favorite photos to spatial photos, and they're incredible.
Does it screw them up if you're not using them through the Vision Pro? Okay. All right. Nice.
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're left totally fine. So that has been great. The new ability to have the gesture for going to the home screen and then activating your control center. Excellent. A really, really nice addition. So I didn't think, it'd be that big a deal, but yeah, it's pretty nice. And we're of course waiting on the, once they release the large screen, the options for screen sizes on the whole, use your Mac screen thing, I'll give that a shot, and I we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so some nice things in there.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's great. Yeah. Yep.
This next thing is actually, it's almost back to ChatGPT, but what I did is I got the terms of service when I upgraded to Sequoia, and I loaded them into ChatGPT, and I said, any areas of concern, summarize the changes for me, and tell me anything I should be concerned about. And there's some regional service provider stuff and some access information and all that. The one that came out to me the most, or stood out to me the most, it listed 6 things. Data privacy. Apple still retains the ability to access, share, or disclose your data to law enforcement if deemed necessary. While privacy is emphasized, consider reviewing how much personal information you're comfortable with storing in iCloud. I went, good point. Something to think. I kind of don't care. Go for it. You're going to be bored. You want to put FBI agents to sleep? Go looking at my iCloud. Termination risks. Apple can terminate or limit your account in various cases, such as inactivity, violation of terms of service, or at its discretion for legal or security reasons. And then backup responsibility. It's still your responsibility to back up all your important data, as Apple doesn't guarantee full protection against data loss or corruption. So for those of you using iCloud as your backup, layers. Get another layer. But hey, you know what? That tells me that I'm going to use ChatGPT for other terms of service summaries to make sure I'm not giving my kids away. My firstborn. Oh, it's all yours.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought it was me, but I think, and I want to acknowledge it because I think it's in the audio stream. I think one of you has your Discord notifications going to a live speaker in your room. And my guess is
it may be me,
Pete.
and I've told the system to send it to my selected output, which is my headphones, but I think that's it. So I have to,
because I just sent a message because I thought it was me, and I was like, this is weird. I thought I turned all that off. And now I realize we've been doing this the whole episode, and every little message that comes into Discord, everybody that is listening gets to hear on time delay.
Folks. I think it's me, and
I think it is you.
I went to system settings, and it says selected output, which is my headphones. So I don't know why it's doing that.
But did you go to Discord's audio settings? Well, it wouldn't be the alerts in system settings. It would be what is your selected output? Is your selected output in system settings your ears? My guess is it's your speaker.
Yeah. Well, no, in system settings, my selected output is, calling it up right now, external phone port.
Okay. That's
and then
weird.
Play sound effects through selected sound output device.
Yeah, I don't know if Discord is
but I got that other one too. But that was something running in parallels that made that noise. So somehow it bypassed. Yeah. So
did that come up? Did you just hear that note? Oh, you turned them off. Okay, I was going to say because I just did a test and I didn't hear it. Okay, great.
I
Where
muted
are we on
Discord.
time here? Do we have time to do a question or two, or should we? Maybe we just call it here, because if we get into questions, we're going to want to go long, and we're not going to have the time to do that. So I think maybe we do a cool stuff found or three and go quick through those. Does that work? Adam is muted, but I can't tell what your opinion is on this, Adam. Anyway,
I was saying yes, that sounds good. Let's get through some. Let's catch up on some CSF.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Porthos John has another one for us, or another entry for this episode, and it is an app. He says, after the demise of Atom, the text editor, ATOM, not your demise, Adam. I am always looking for a quick, light text editor to view README files and the like. I found one called Zed at zed.dev, and it's now my default for text files and other quick editing for things I am copy pasting and stuff like that. So thank you for that, Porthos John. Yeah, it's always good to know about those little text editors. Love them. It's good. It's good. This is an interesting thing. Alex sent this in. He said, since I started using Windows 11 part-time, cringing at the thought, he says, I needed a way to connect to my headless Mac Mini. I chose VNC for this purpose and initially used Real VNC Viewer on my Windows machine. After entering my Mac's username and password, I set it up, but the performance was disappointing, even with a wired network connection. This was surprising because Apple's built-in screen sharing, even in macOS, was super fast. The latency with Real VNC was too much, so I explored other options and found NoMachine. That's all one word, NoMachine, a free alternative. I installed it on both the PC and the Mac, and the experience was significantly faster with minimal latency right out of the box. After installation, the PC required a restart, but the Mac did not. For those looking to control their computers through screen sharing from another machine running macOS, Windows, or Linux, NoMachine might be a very good and easy to configure option. So thanks for that. I had no idea that NoMachine was even a thing. So there you go.
Nice.
Pete, you want to share what will probably be our last one, because the other two will probably start getting us into different worlds.
Yeah. So Rick wrote in. We talked about this on the keynote episode that we did Monday night, week and a half ago. He writes, Pete, I was listening to the keynote episode on MGG and heard you talking about the upcoming hearing test feature. A couple hours ago, I downloaded Mimi, that's M-I-M-I, hearing test from the App Store. It is the same thing audiologists use. I have tinnitus, not from walkarounds, but from the tire noise on my 2-hour commute to the airport. Anyway, I wear the AirPod Pros 2 while on my bike trainer watching TV and still had a problem hearing the dialogue. I did the Mimi hearing test, and in the end, it creates a profile for your ears and asks if you want to use it. It gives you a before and after, and the difference was amazing. The dialogue popped right out. The price is right for a pilot, too. Free. Take care, Rick. I don't know whether to take that with pride or offense, but I'm going to take it with pride. I am a cheap airline captain, and I admit it.
What's interesting is that it'll connect to Apple Health, and they say it's perfect for Apple headphone accommodation. So that profile, you can just use it.
Yeah, that's what I did with, I don't know, I can't remember which app I used. I don't know if it was this one or a different one. I can check on my health app when I'm not streaming and maybe bring it up on another show. But yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying in that podcast is this feature kind of already existed. The difference is now it's going to be built in and you can take the same test directly through the operating system rather than needing a third-party app. So,
yep. But you can employ the results of it right now if you use the Mimi test, and then you could do a test again when you get whenever Apple gives us that update. Yeah. They did just get approval, right? FTC approval.
Did they?
FTC. It was FDA approval.
FDA.
For the AirPods to be considered an OTC hearing aid, I think. So, yeah. Which is good. Yeah.
So hopefully they'll release that soon then.
I hope so. Yeah. I'm waiting to buy AirPods Pro 2, but the prices are pretty good. They're down to like less than $200 on Amazon. So maybe the time is now. Yeah.
So I overpaid through Apple.
Of course.
There you go. Quick question though now. So iOS 18 is out, but it's not until 18.1, which is out in beta now, but not regular, that we start getting the AI features of.
Yeah. And what that means to me is because I've been running 18.1, that's the only way I've had the AI features on my 15 Pro. When I get my iPhone 16, which who knows, may have arrived even while we were recording, I probably will not be able to do the easy migration from my 18.1 15 Pro to my 18.0 iPhone 16. So I'm going to have to set up the iPhone 16 with a bare bones thing, go to the App Store, go to the beta thing, update it to 18.1, then wipe it, then do the migration. So that'll be really fun. Really looking forward to it.
So that gives me, you can answer this question then, because that's what I was going to do right after the show. Tell me how to do it. How do I go and force it to give me 18 when I go in and says, hey, you're up to date?
Well, when are you getting your new phone?
Well, I'm going to go pick it up tomorrow.
Great. I wouldn't do anything. I would just get your new phone, which is going to have 18 on it, and then it will migrate from 17 to 18, no problem, I would believe. It just won't. It'll migrate from older to newer, not newer to older.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mess with it. Then when you're happy that your data's made it over, wipe that device. And my guess is once you wipe it, it will act. And
I guess what I'm asking, so there's other people out there in my position. There's a staggered rollout, I'm assuming, is what's going on.
No.
No?
No, there is not. This is not an Apple decided thing. This is, I would restart the phone. I would make sure you're not running any weird DNS stuff, right? I'm just in general.
These are good things, but these are things that I'm pretty clear of so far. So keep going.
Yeah. Don't mess with your Etsy host file. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Touche.
Go into general software updates. You could change the beta updates option around and see if even moving it to the public beta standard, and then back to the off and see if that sort of tips the scales. But don't put the 18.1 beta on your phone today. It will make you will then have to go through the pain I'm about to have to go through. Yeah.
Right.
So Dave, if 18's out officially, I'm assuming you could also go back to standard updates and it would be on 18 or pull down whatever the release.
Well, that's what I'm saying is right? just move the setting. Don't actually do the update, but move the setting and then go back. So yep. All right. Hopefully that'll tip the scales. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for. We do need to. It's time. The time has come, my friends. We got to get Adam to work. I got to get to work. We got all kinds of things. Life is crazy, in a good way, I think.
Work.
I'll let you know.
Word ending in K.
It is true. Thanks to all of you for listening. Hey, do us a favor. It is time again for us to ask for you to go and review the show. We can't get you right to the screen in your Apple Podcasts app where you can review. We can get you close. So go to macgeekgab.com/review, and then you're like one hop away from, if you've done a review in the past, update it. It makes a difference. It makes us feel good, lets us know that you're out there. It does let other, potential listeners know that, yes, this is a valid show. Doesn't actually help Apple's rankings algorithm, but it really does matter for us. So if you could do that for us, we would absolutely love it. And if you've got an old review, go and update it. Hopefully, we'll get a 5-star review from you. But whatever stars you want to give us, we'll take them because every star counts, folks. So thank you so much. Thanks to CashFly for providing all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. Thanks. Go check out Pete's other show. So there I was. I've got 2 other shows, Business Brain and what's the other one? Gig Gab. Yeah. Just, thanks.
Share the show.
We love
if you can't even review us, share the show. Tell a friend about it.
I like that. Yeah.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you got to
really,
give a
thanks.
1-star review, give it to someone else. Just saying.
Yeah, that's right. If it's a 1-star review, go. I don't even want to say another show's name. Just, I don't know of any bad shows. I don't listen to any shows I don't like. So, yeah, there you go. No matter what you decide to do, Adam, what is it that Pete's shirt says?
Pete's shirt says what you should do when you leave that 1-star review. Don't get caught.
Made on Mac.
Thanks, everybody. Later.